the architecture development, and I call on the stage the moderator Alessandro Cardi, Senior Advisor of DTR.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Now we start with this panel, and I think that the speech of Mr. Cornelis has been very highlighting some of the subjects that we will try to touch this morning. Speaking about innovative air services, something is coming to my mind is that today we have a lot of operations compared with the past. So many operations are made in the country, but there is still something missing because the big success for these new services linked to the real advantage that they can bring to the communities is still to come. And there is something more to do. And so I think that this panel, we will try to expand our knowledge or our, let's say, we will take our informations about the main actors of the technology and the main enablers for the new operations, starting from the obstacles or the enablers, and then to come to the market and to have development of services instead of simple operations in order to have more success in the cities. So I will call on the stage the speakers, and we'll start with, I will mention them. There are Giuseppe Scannapieco, they're coming from EASA, is a drone project manager, the European Aviation Safety Agency, and Giancarlo Ferrara from Research and Innovation Program Manager working in Eurocontrol, and Enrico Spinelli, a Business Application Engineer. He works for the European Space Agency. The Giancarlo Varacalli, working for the innovation in the Italian Space Agency. And then Marco Catalano, and the program manager for drones, working in ENAC, the Italian Civil Aviation Authority. So I try to take advantage for the presence of these valuable speakers and asking them what is the role of its own organization, what they are single as a person and as an organization, what they are doing in order to support the development of the technology, and how this technology, there is an enabling factor for the operations and for services, are taken care by the regulation in order to be used in the real life. So I will ask, starting from the European Space Agency, to describe what is the role of the agency, what are the technologies that are made by the so-called downstream in order to facilitate the use of and the introduction of drones and services in our life. Enrico.
Prova? Maybe? Yes. Thank you, Alessandro, for the invitation, and thanks to the organizers for this great event at an amazing location. So I work for the European Space Agency and as business applications engineer, and perhaps it's good to spend a few words about ESA, the European Space Agency. So ESA is an intergovernmental organization separate from the European Union, composed of 22 member states, that was established more than 50 years ago with the objective to foster cooperation among member states on space research, space technologies, and space applications, only for peaceful purposes. Most of people know ESA as the agency that, together with the help of European companies, develops complex space missions in different domains, for example, human and robotic exploration, science, satellite navigation, like Galileo and EGNOS, satellite Earth observation, Copernicus, and so on. But not everybody knows that ESA actually promotes also the use of space technologies in non-space domains for applications on Earth for the benefit of human mankind, for all of us. In other words, ESA supports the downstream. And in particular, I work for a program called Business Applications and Space Solutions that supports European companies in developing close-to-market applications in any sector using space technologies or data. We want to help European companies from startups up to small enterprises, up to large enterprises, to establish a real business using space technologies. And we want to help customers in the different market sectors, from health, education, to transportation, energy, agriculture, to work in a different way, more sustainable way, more optimized way. And that's why we focus on applications from companies that are really sustainable, answer to concrete user needs, so have the support of potential customers and users, are innovative with unique selling points, and are commercially viable. Our support is notably funds. We typically co-fund activities because we want companies to be on the market, and we provide coaching on business and technical guidance matters. You may be wondering why how ESA can help the drone sector. Actually, over the years, we have been supporting many companies in developing services using drones, or more in general, unmanned aircraft systems. We support feasibility studies whenever companies need to still investigate the technical feasibility and commercial viability of the service, or demonstration project, more often, where companies can really deploy their service with a pilot stage, with the potential customers and users in the loop. What type of applications have we been supporting so far with drones? So, for example, inspection or monitoring of infrastructure, precision farming, law enforcement, delivery of goods, medical goods. For example, we have supported Skyports in implementing a commercial service for the National Health System in UK, in Scotland. But also we have supported applications for the use of drones. For example, flight planning tools for BVLOS operations. You can find all the information on our website, business.esa.int, along with the, let's say, programmatic schemes we offer to companies. But today I would like to elaborate on a few general considerations regarding services based on drones. First, from technological point of view, we see that the critical building blocks are generally available for a wide variety of applications, the ones, for example, I mentioned. Second is that we have seen that vertical integration is key. Future services provided by companies will include the drone service themselves, meaning that companies will not ask external drone service providers to provide the service based on drones, but they will develop this service themselves. Third is that we have seen, in general, companies experiencing issues in getting commercial services after successful trials. This is due to a number of factors. For example, constraints in getting permissions to fly BVLOS, or a lack of certification path. Some civil aviation authorities are more proactive. Italy is certainly one of those. Others are a bit less. Fourth consideration is that automation, autonomous operations, will be the game changer to revolutionize the way the different market sectors work. But this is a challenge. We have seen and supported some companies in developing autonomous drones. For example, Garden in Czech Republic with a project called Audros. But still, also the regulation is to be further developed. So in a nutshell, we personally see at ESA an opportunity to cooperate more at institutional levels, so to create an ecosystem that will foster commercial services beyond successful trials, successful operations. And so today I would like to launch a proposal. For example, we are in Italy. We could, all of us, all our institutions, work together to make this ecosystem happen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Enrico. Just to underline the importance of space, or let's say the downstream services, we all use the GPS or in our phones in order to move, or with the cars. Drones, they move on the same manner, so they need such a kind of service. And the importance of space downstream services are very fundamental. And then I will ask, in this sense, our colleague Giancarlo Varacalli from Italian Space Agency to speak about their own contribution.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I would say that in the Italian Space Agency, our mission is to promote space technologies, space application in all the main economic field of Italy, of our nation. And the transport is one of the main sectors we are looking at, because there are great potential of infusion of space technologies in order to increase the competitiveness of the industry, of the overall community. And among the in the transport section, one of the vertical with great potential is the drone sector. It's a very promising sector, and also one of them that will benefit more than others from the infusion of space technologies. We already performed in the last years several projects, starting from low TRL technologies, basic technologies, up to demo project with on-field demonstration of especially navigation, satellite navigation technologies, communication technologies. This happens both at a pure national level and back-to-back with the European Space Agency. Since we are funding the national projects, ESA is managing the projects and infusing their knowledge, their high know-how, to let the Italian industry grow in this field. At national level, I would also mention 3 projects that we are partly concluded, partly started with a cooperation with ENAV. We concluded last year a project demonstrating the use of large remotely piloted aircraft in a full combined ATM environment, and the demo was here in Grottaglia. I still remember this event. We promoted also a project dedicated to small RPAS systems and inclusion of communication technologies for that, and we are just started a project aiming at validate and enhance the resilience of the GNSS use for drones, which is a very vulnerable environment. We know that satellite navigation is based on very faint signals from MEO orbit, so there's a potential vulnerabilities in the use of these signals, and so we are looking with great attention on protecting these assets and decoupling these vulnerabilities to the service that will be performed by drones. I see that after all these projects at national and European level, we see that the technologies, as far as the space technologies are concerned, are there, and potentially the use in an operational environment is possible. Although we see that there are also potential to enhance these technologies, exploiting the advancement, for example, of the Galileo system with the new signals, for example, the OSNMA Open Service Navigation Message Authentication, which can provide more resilience, more reliability to the signal. Also, the accuracy and the precision of the positioning can be enhanced with the high accuracy service, also in experimentation, and will be available very soon for the Galileo system. We see also potential of improvement in new layers for the signals. For example, ESA has started a demonstration for the LEO-based PNT service that will provide a much stronger signal with a differentiating frequency band that will provide more strength to the use of radio navigation. As a conclusion, I would say that technologies are there, and they are enhancing very much in the future. We see maybe a gap from the demo project phase to the operational service, actual service, and that's where the institution and all the stakeholders should gather. And as agreed with what said my colleague from ESA, we should gather and try to find where to act, maybe at regulatory level, certification level, I don't know, but I think a forum on this topic is definitely needed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It seems to emerge that we have technology, but there is something in between the technology and the full deployment of the technology itself, or let's say the full use of the technology. So it brings me to a successive step. There is the erogation of services, and I will ask Giancarlo Ferrara from Eurocontrol to speak about. There is one of European service provider in terms of air services. What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, let's say that first of all, Eurocontrol, behind an independent organization, is having the role of supporting the European institutions, including ESA, of course, and all the others, but also our member states. So in this sense, Eurocontrol is putting a lot of effort, especially from the drone program side, to mainly work on 4 pillars. The first pillar is the one that is dedicated, of course, to research and innovation, the one that I'm managing, and we are widely investing there, a lot of effort, because we are coordinating several projects. So in a certain sense, we are trying to facilitate as much as possible the creation of the ecosystem, and in this sense, through the projects and the fundings available, we are working with the stakeholders that are part of the ecosystem. On the other side, we are also trying to support the information exchange to cross-fertilize a bit the exchange of lessons learned and best practices. Mainly, we are doing it in cooperation with the European Union, EASA, as well as with the CESAR Joint Undertaking and the European Defence Agency as well. We are mainly having this EU network of U-Space stakeholders to which you can easily have access. That is a place where we are mainly focusing on the outcomes of the research and innovation activities and of the demonstration or other projects that are bringing to the community some results or some solutions. and these are generally shared and discussed with the others. So could also help to accelerate a bit the market uptake of these type of services. Then on the other hand, we are also supporting our member states with the definition of the U-space, I-space, that is linked to your question, Alessandro. It's mainly through these that, you know, through the regulation, it is mandated that you have to do an airspace risk assessment, and we were developing a methodology for that. And of course, we are already cooperating with several member states to try to build their U-space airspace, what is called U-space airspace, and to certify the U-space service providers that are, let's say, the one designated by them. So, and finally, I would say that we are also building a sort of drone center of excellence, where in cooperation with other companies and industry as well, we are building some simulation facility, and we are trying also to link this simulation facility with all the others test centers that are in Europe. And this is something that will help as well the market uptake and the certification of U-space service providers. Finally, just to come to what Enrico was saying before, I would say we have already a memorandum of cooperation in place with ESA, so Eurocontrol and ESA is already working on that. And on the field, we are already doing some activities together. So it is more than welcome, of course. And this will be, I think, an important asset for the future as well.
Well, thank you, Giancarlo. It seems that more or less many blocks are in place or are under implementation. So we have technology, we have services ready to be offered in terms of U-space. So we have to complete all the steps in order to deploy such a capacity. And that once we have the capacity, we will have not only the operations, but we will have the let's say the conditions to have market and service operator in order to develop this new field of application for drones. Now I wonder, and that Mr. Cornelis mentioned quite a number of rules already published by EASA and applicable in Italy as in all other European states. And I will ask if we have sufficient or, let's say, good, well tailored rules in order to support the market of services. And I will ask to our regulators present, starting from EASA, of course. There is our regulator for all the states. And asking what is your feeling about this situation in which we have rules, we have technology, we have operations, but we are still in a phase of transition to go to the market.
Yes, thank you, Alessandro. Good morning, everybody. My name is Giuseppe Scanapieco. I'm coming from the European Aviation Safety Agency. So, ourselves as regulators, we have certain specific roles that we have to accomplish. And there are three dimensions that we should consider when looking at the roles as regulators. So first of all, exploring new regulatory concepts. It was implied before, so we started looking at the development of rules for drones almost since 10 years now. Although, as it was implied before by the speech, by the keynote speech of Mr. Cornelis, so the first, let's say, formal regulations appeared only in 2019, but this required a long work ahead of it. And in developing these rules, we as regulators, we took a fundamental, let's say, step or different approach in regulating, because we moved from a prescriptive approach, basically, for establishing requirements given that are heavily dependent on the design. So moving from this approach to an approach which is more proportionate, operation-centric, and risk-based. And as a matter of fact, this is the first core or the essential elements of the whole drones regulation. Why this? Because of the flexibility of the drones themselves, that they can operate in different scenarios and for different tasks and in different types of operations. Basically, today we have a regulation that if you take the same aircraft, but you let this aircraft compare perform two totally different missions. The same aircraft will be subject to different requirements in terms of verification of the safety of the design, in terms of requirements on the organizations that are running the operation, or even the requirements for the training of pilots, for example. So we have established this regulatory framework, which distinguishes three classes of operations, or that are associated with different risk. And in order to grant this flexibility, this was our intention. And we see with gaining more experience that this was the right approach to consider. And as a matter of fact, this is a strong enabler for the industry to further develop, because allows the new entrants on the market to experiment, to start from lower risky operation, and then to evolve and move towards higher risk operations as long as more technology and competencies and experiences and tools are available then on the market. The second dimension that I also would like to highlight in our role as an authority is also is the support that we offer to the industry. So it's not only, this support is not only, let's say, monodirectional in the sense that we are offering a regulatory framework for them, but we are also enabling an exchange, a continuous exchange with them, having representatives being part of our regulatory exercise, but also allowing them to bring us as regulators up to speed with the new technologies as they evolve. So we have also developed some sort of incubators for regulations, the so-called sandbox environments, where I think we will discuss a little bit more in detail this afternoon. But this is also an important element for the industry to further develop and to grow. So there is always this it's not a fight, but it is a different tension that goes into different directions. So on one side, there is the innovation and the industry that is pushing to do and experiment things more outside the known envelope. And on our side, as regulators, there is this need to ensure that everything that goes sooner or later on the market, it fulfills the most important pillars of safety and environmental compatibility of the products that they develop. The third dimension that I would like also to reflect upon when it comes to us as regulators, you know, we are a European agency, but we need to interface with our member states. So we're 27, well, we're 31 EASA countries, 27 European member states, and with all of them, we need to ensure that we all grow together and work and take the benefit of the experiences, of the mutual experiences of the development of drones market in each respective country. Actually, we had quite interesting exercises over the last couple of years that we did with certain authorities, where we experimented ourselves, regulators, doing in a kind of, let's say, test environment, where we went to the national authorities with them, trying to, okay, let's assume that you are an operator, let's assume that we need to establish, to enable these kind of operations, let's apply the rules that we have created, and let's try to learn from this exercise, from this joint exercise. This proved to be quite very extremely useful. We did it with multiple authorities, with some authorities already in Europe, and this gives you the dimension of the cooperation that is needed between the member states, so the experience that is collected at member states, and us as a European, providing the European dimension to the regulation. And I think this event is a proof that more of this cooperation and synergy between industry, member states, and European regulators is needed to further develop the drone market.
Okay, thank you, Giuseppe. Then, last but not least, let's say that we have rules, or let's say we have rules that are also evolving, let's say in the application, from the application side. And I will ask Marco Catalano from ENAC to express his point of view.
Thank you very much for the invitation here. Thank you to all. I am Marco Catalano. I work in the Regulation and Research for Innovative Air Mobility Department in ENAC. And mainly I'm involved in the coordination of the pilot project for air taxi in Rome that will be ready in the 2025. But of course, I am involved in all of the activities related to the US operations. So today, let me try to summarize all of our activities that we do in order to support the innovative air services related to the US operations. First of all, I want to mention the creation of the test bed environment at ASIR in Grottaglia Airport, and also the sandboxes environment. We are developing, and already is in external consultation, our regulation, our national regulation about sandboxes. I want to say that in this kind of environment, US operator will be allowed with the dialogue with the national authority to test their technologies and their regulatory challenges. Second, I want to mention our project called Digital Twin for Innovative Air Services. Is a project developed in partnership with the Italian Department for Digital Transformation. This kind of tool will be able to it give to the US operator a platform where they will be able to evaluate the complex of the operation from a ground point of view, and also from an air risk point of view. The main task of this tool will be to evaluate the population density on ground from a static point of view, but also from a dynamic point of view. And we are confident that this tool will allow to comply with the future SORA 2.5 that we will see in our regulation. Last but not least, I want to mention our activities in order to produce guidance material. I want to mention the guidance material related to U-Space, to certificate to the future certification of USSP, as you know. I want to mention that we already have a guidance material about sandboxes in order to allow the technological sandboxes, because for regulatory sandboxes we need our regulation, our national regulation. And I want to mention the crew training guidance material that allow our US operators to ensure that their pilots, so their crew are able to conduct their mission. That's our main task.
Okay. Thank you, Marco. And I think that we had rather a broad range approach to the subject. It seems to me in order to make not a synthesis, but just to try let's say some key message that the technologies are in place, services are ready to be deployed in a more, let's say, impressive manner through the U-Space certification services. And then also the rules are allowing more and more operations, and we wait, according to the roadmap and to the drone strategy at the European level, the new standard scenario and the certification into the bracket of operations in the cities from drones. So it seems that they're a good thing. And at the end, also, if we have a good project, I think there are good chances to be also supported and funded by European Space Agency, in a way, let's say. So let me ask for an effort to be very concise for a second round of questions about one single and specific subject. It has been mentioned also by Philip Cornelis this morning, is the transportation, the new innovative air mobility. There is a theme that is coming out and is taking place in many occasions. In Rome, for example, in Paris, for example, for Milano Cortina Winter Olympiades. So there is something that is moving and is moving quickly in this subject. So the transportation in the city, from the city, and between the cities, or a new innovative mode of transportation with this new aircraft. So very quickly, I will ask on the same order some consideration, really be rapid because we have to close. Thank you. Enrico?
So, thank you, Alessandro. So at ESA, we have been receiving in the recent months an increasing number of proposals in the air taxi domain, let's say. Some of them are more focusing on vertiport design services. Others are more focusing on eVTOL operations. Satellite technologies also here can help. Satellite navigation like GPS and Galileo allow to localize the eVTOL, for example. Satellite telecommunications to operate in BVLOS. Satellite Earth observation meteo data for planning, or digital terrain model also for planning. Now, this market, this domain has challenges, technological challenges like eVTOL autonomy, regulatory and certification challenges like certification of eVTOL, or we have the new NPA 2024-01 under consultation, which is very good stimulus. There are also societal acceptance and social value as challenges, and these challenges have to be addressed along with the business case. Today at ESA we are just monitoring the market and the initiatives from companies. We understand that this market appears a bit more exploratory at this stage. There may be niche applications reaching commercial maturity in the short term, but wide adoption of this type of services and even autonomous unmanned air taxi operations may be likely more in the longer term, and support from civil aviation authorities is certainly instrumental.
Okay. Thank you. Well, we'll ask Giancarlo, are we ready for this?
I think we have to be one step ahead of what is needed now, because in research and development we have to look in the long term. I think the long term for this kind of air taxi or unmanned eVTOL is the autonomously operations. So without a pilot or even without a supervisor, this is the highest level of autonomy we are looking for. For this kind of operation, there are some challenges, and I think there are three main topics, technological topics we should tackle. The first one is the operation in a densely operated environment. For this, we need a higher accuracy and a higher reliability of the radio navigation services. This is possible through the use of different local augmentation systems. but also looking at the evolution of DGNSS with Galileo second generation as a main target. The second point is the reliability of the service, radio navigation service. So the development of integrated with systems with dead reckoning IMU systems for more robust RAM technology. And the third one is the resilience to cyber attacks, because I think manned operations are vulnerable, possible target of cyber attacks. Thank you.
Okay, so Giancarlo,
Yes.
are you ready?
Yes, let's say we are working. It's a challenging, as we said, it's a challenging objective, but of course there is also a bit of business pressure that is quite strong as well. So there is a need to move ahead. Of course, the technological and regulatory challenges are quite heavy, but we were doing our job, let's say, on our side. Eurocontrol was already developing a concept of operations for that in the Chorus 6OM project. And by the way, I see Antonio and Rocco here. We were performing here in Grottaglie in the test bed one of the trials, of the most successful trials we were having, Pipistrel and ETA, that were cooperating very well on this topic. I would say that we are already working on the vertiport integration, vertiport operations integration. We have a Eureka project that we are coordinating as Eurocontrol. Mainly the countries that are involved are Italy, again, with Aeroporti di Roma and so on, that is linked with the one that you mentioned. Okay. Then we have Spain and we have France as well. The France, you know that this year is planning to have initial advanced air mobility operation during the Summer Olympic Games we will have. So let's say on this side we are pushing forward. Of course, we are closely working also with the EASA to try to, let's say, optimize as much as possible the regulation that will support these operations. I mean, again, the regulatory aspect, I think, is quite relevant. I know that not only EASA, but also the Civil Aviation Authority are putting a lot of effort on that. Again, we are cooperating and we're trying to support as much as we can, also on a regulatory perspective, but also on the operations. And it will be challenging, but as said by Enrico, it will be probably for the medium term that we will have a market uptake for that.
Okay, okay. So very quick, Giuseppe. One of the issues is the certification of this new kind of aircraft. Is it a risk in terms of timing, or do you think that the rules are sufficiently mature in order to very quick answer, please?
Yes, so regulations are already there in the form of initial, let's say, what we call special condition, which means that is something that we have developed in conjunction with the industry, having in mind one fundamental criteria. There is no compromise on safety. European citizens want to have the highest safety level possible also for this new type of aviation. It takes one accident to kill a whole market. So better to start with the right step, being the first one on safety.
Thank you very much. I fully agree with you. And last, Marco, are we ready to support the introduction of this new kind of transportation?
Yes, we are ready. We are adopting the national regulation with the requirement to operate with the VCA aircraft. This national regulation will contain the requirement from an Aerospace point of view. This kind of aircraft will fly through, if this kind of aircraft will fly through a controlled airspace and over congested area, they will fly through a corridor, okay? That this corridor will integrate the ground infrastructure, vertiports, okay? And also this regulation will include the requirement for the VCA operator, and is in the adopting phase, and it will integrate the European regulatory framework for the Italian national side.
Thank you very much for the effort to be concise. And I think that what is the lesson learned is that technology is more or less available. and the rules are in place, services are in the way to be deployed, and also at the national level, there are all the flexible tools in order to support the introduction of this new modality. Thank you, our speaker.